Greetings out there in YouTube land from the planet Earth. Hope you're all doing well today. I've seen some interesting things online lately that really tend to bother me. The way some people act and treat each other just amazes me. I've seen many profiles in this game I play, and people write down Christian, but the things they say, the way they act, photos they put up, far from brothers and sisters out there. Right? Some of them have no shame at all, and they don't realize that God sees everything. How do I know this? Well, God healed me March 12th, right? And He healed my terminal heart problem, right? And we chatted a little bit. I'd had some things happen to me in my earlier youth, and at some points I was the victim. But God reminded me that the words that came out of my mouth, even though I was a child back then, did major damage to an adult and altered her destiny as a teacher. She was meant to be a great one and learn from her mistakes, but instead, because I kept on rubbing it in as a child in grade 5, between mid grade 4, I guess grade 5. And from that little experience of the way she treated me and me mouthing back, she ended up giving up teaching. So I affected a person without even realizing it, so I wasn't the only victim. Now, I had totally forgotten about that. I didn't even remember that or even know that she quit. That was God let me know that. And I felt this one thing called shame. I'd never felt it before. And trust me, you do not want to feel it. God sees everything. God knows everything. There's nothing you can hide from God. Some people go to secret little sins. Oh, nobody's going to know. Nobody's around to see. God sees everything, brothers and sisters. Everything. And I am the beneficiary of God's love and mercy because He only showed me two things and I couldn't take anymore. I couldn't. And God showed me mercy, and that was enough. True, He's going to take those things and throw them into the lake of forgetfulness, but He used them to remind me that I was not the only victim. It was my mouth, the words that came out of my mouth that defiled me, and I didn't even know. I had no one teaching me what was right from wrong, to understand the Lord or anything about Him. I grew up looking at these people that call themselves Christian, doing things they're not supposed to do, saying things that you would not even believe. The things I saw really bothered me, and I didn't know any better. And I wasted a large part of my life that could have been so much better if I just found the Lord earlier. Right? He was always there. Right? But many out there right now, brothers and sisters, they walk around and they act like there's no tomorrow to worry about. It is later than most think. The third temple will be up soon, and the wise know what happens 42 months later. That Antichrist is going to come. The foolish are going to flock to him. He's going to call down fire and say he's God. We got countless fools right now following the fake Jesus in Russia, and a bunch of other fake ones have been following them. It's just sad, brothers and sisters. They don't know their Hebrews 5 verses 11 to 14, which warns you that those on the milk of the word are unskilled in righteousness. They will be easily deceived. That's why he says, 2 in the field, 1 taken, 2 at the mill, 1 taken, because they know not the need of the word, which definitely tells you right there, brothers and sisters, warns you, don't follow these fake Jesuses. They say he's here, he's there, don't buy it, because it tells you right what must happen before Jesus returns. No ands, no ifs, no buts. And Hebrews will tell you that only those in the need of the word can discern between good and evil. They won't be deceived because they can tell the difference. They can say, hey, Bible says this ain't so, and they know it's a fake. But think about it. Half the planet's going to flock to his side. And yet they profess to love God, but they're going to end up with the mark of the beast on them, because they'll be following Satan. Make sure that's not you, brothers and sisters. The price is too heavy. Many go to these abundance churches and sing a few songs, go la-di-da, showing up on a Sunday and think that's right, but it's not. What day did Jesus worship on is what you should ask, brothers and sisters. What day was a Sabbath to the Lord Jesus? And you know right in your hearts right now, without me even saying it, and I will, it was Saturday. God said to rest the end of the week. Satan always wants to be above God, so he had to take the beginning of the week. God wanted the end, Satan wants the top. It's like a coin. One side is God, the other is Satan. It's the way it is these days, brothers and sisters. These are the last days of Noah. Yeah. God is not about some building people go to. God is not about the name of religions and religions of men. Most of them have no idea who God even is. God is about a personal relationship and faith. Boom, that's it. If you've got faith in the Lord and you're doing right by Him, He'll do right by you. God is about love. He showed me great mercy and compassion and healed my terminal illness. I was 12 years past due for the grave, brothers and sisters. Okay? And He showed me a mercy I did not deserve. I had repented of my sins. I was questioning whether I had the faith of a mustard seed. There I am about 1:38 in the morning. I've been pondering this for a while. And God spoke to me again and told me to take off my nitro patches and not to take the pills anymore. And I was wearing 5 pills worth a day just to live, brothers and sisters. I had made a mistake a little over 12 years ago, and I hadn't thought on it till recently. I laid hands a couple of times, and they were healed. I ran into a bad experience with a preacher at a church who yelled at me for touching the person next to me, the one who invited me there, because the Holy Spirit said touch him, so I did. And when I did, the Holy Spirit came on him. Nobody could see because we were sitting at the back and there weren't many people there. But this man had the look of rage in his face, and he was negative preaching, as you could put it, because he was just staring at me before it, and I decided not to focus on what he was saying at all. I was just focusing on the Lord, saying, hey, I don't know why you want me here, but I came because he told me that man's name while I was driving the day before. And told me where to go, and I talked to that man for like 4 hours, spent another 4 hours after that bad church experience, but that man turned his life around. He needed somebody to talk to and get some advice. His first job was getting people into bondage, and he was having real issues with it because they were pushing him to do more, and he needed some counsel, and he was teetering. Well, after a little talk with me and my companion, she was from the States and he was from the States, so it helped. He wanted an American to talk to. You know how it is with some people, right? And he turned his life around. Instead of putting people into debt, he helps people get out of debt. Those little things that people take for granted, those little questions we have, God knows them all. We are all tested daily, brothers and sisters. Some small, some large. You may not even notice them, but God does. He's watching what we do. Remember, if you go to some building and all that, that doesn't save you just because you belong to some religious group. That doesn't save you. Jesus was not about religions. When he walked around, he didn't say, go to this place. Oh yeah, you'll be saved. No. He said, follow me. Okay? Not some religion, not some hireling up there, but follow him. What did Jesus do? He showed love. He showed mercy. He showed compassion. He fed the hungry. He healed the sick. These are the latter days, my brothers and sisters. They really are. And if you're up there and they're not talking about these times, and if they're laying abundance, and oh yeah, and all million, give me this, give me that, all they want is your money, brothers and sisters. There are places out there that have the nerve to make people take courses to see if they're good enough to be a member. You got to follow these rules and all that. Well, Jesus never said that. You have to run around and take courses to follow him. No, he did not. But people were following Jesus because they knew he was the light and the way. But even in those days, the Pharisees, or take your pick, whatever name you want, a bishop, cardinal, you name it these days, pastor, you take your pick. There are so many false shepherds out there that do not even know the time of day. Jesus rebuked them, Pharisees, because they didn't even know the time or the seasons. All they cared about is the money coming in. What's different today? So many of these people that call themselves preachers and everything else, sadly, are con men out there that really don't believe in the word. Every time you turn around, one of these people has done some crime, sadly. Recently, I watched a couple of old Judge Joe Browns, and they had two of them that I saw, and these men were purported ministers of God. They were doing horrible things, and they acted like it was no big deal. They had no shame. They are hirelings, those wolves in sheep's clothing that people warn you about. There's no way a pastor is sleeping with some woman. Straight word. You ought to know that's fornication. Pastor don't steal a car either. It just breaks my heart, brothers and sisters. When you got the blind trying to lead the flock, no wonder the flocks are going to end up in hell. These are serious times, brothers and sisters. Much is going to happen in the next little bit. The clock of Rev 12 runs out mid-March 2021, just after the next U.S. election. I don't think Trump's going to be re-elected. He was elected so that Jerusalem could be the capital of Israel and the third temple go up. That's why God picked him, because he's Mr. Art of the Deal. I'm surprised nobody caught on to that. I figured it out when they started talking Mr. Art of the Deal, and he's talking about just starting to get into the election. The Israelis are calling him Cyrus. They even made some coins with his picture on it in Cyrus. These are the last days, brothers and sisters. Don't let your future, your eternity, sit in the hands of some hireling. God is all about a personal relationship, and he wants you to talk to him. Think about it. He asks us to Psalms 113. Most don't even know what it says. I talk to the Lord every day, and I know I am loved, and I know he loves you too. Sadly, most don't even take the time it takes to order a coffee on the Lord. Think about that. Next time you're ordering a pizza, who got more time, you or the pizza? Right? Most people forget God. If you forget God, God's going to forget you. If you praise and glorify the Lord, the name of the Lord, he won't forget you. He won't forsake you. Many are going to die soon, brothers and sisters. It's just a fact of life. You look at the Bible, many are going to die. But that's not the end. The foolish run around going, oh, people are going to die. No, you don't die. That's the whole point. Your spirit is immortal. Energy is all you are. Your spirit, your energy goes to the Lord, out of the body and with the Lord. The only issue you got to worry about there is if you're right with the Lord or not. Because if you're right with the Lord, you hang with him. If not, down the slide you go. You ride the slide. No ands, no ifs, no buts. Don't hate your neighbor. Don't gossip. Don't go out of your way to hurt people, rob people, or steal them. God said, love thy neighbor as thyself. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Basically, treat others the way you want to be treated. I don't want to get murdered. I don't want to get robbed, so I won't do it to you. And he said, and Jesus said, you do that and honor God. Like, honor God first, right? And then love each other like we love ourselves. We'd have world peace. Think about it. How easy that is. But look at the fools we got running things. Those Americans, they hire people that lie all the time. Every politician's the same. Doesn't matter where you go. Pick your country, it's all the same. But they're a great example. They lie to the people, right to their face. They do crimes that anybody else would be in prison. I forget about ever seeing the light of day again. And they're all laugh about it. It's no big deal. One crime after another. And these hirelings supposedly work for the people. Yet they can do anything they want and the people can't. Think about that. You want to know who these people are? Look up Revelations 22:15. The ones that God doesn't kill and allows to live, these sinners. And you hear the word right there. They lie and love to tell a lie. Think of a politician. Find me an honest one and put it down in comments and I'll gladly look them up. But you can't trust any of these guys, sadly. All they do is care about themselves and their golden parachutes and how much money they can steal from the people. That is so sad. That is so sad, brothers and sisters. Now think about it. When people hire those that God won't even let into a city, what are they supposed to expect in return? You want things done right? Hire an honest person instead of the crooks and criminals, and then you might have a chance. But sadly, it's too late for that, brothers and sisters. The clock is running. The next clock you really got to worry about is that third temple, which is going up any day. Because 42 months later, woo, those with eyes will see and know it's the time of day, and you don't want to be anywhere around those people worshiping Satan, Antichrist. Satan is not on your side. He is not. Some people think hell is a party central. It's not. Suffering beyond your wildest imaginations. Look at that story about Lazarus and the rich man. Some will lie to you and say, oh, there's a gulf, but they're up there with the heaven, with the Lord, at any of the side of the gulf. It's okay. Straight word lie. Tells you right there. Look with your own eyes. He was begging for a drop of water on his tongue. Do the math. Does that sound like he's on another side of heaven chilling? No. Because that's because he's in hell. The last place you want to go. Don't let some false prophet lead you down damnation alley with little heresies and abominations these people do. It doesn't matter what others say or did in the end. When you're standing before God alone, it's what you did and what you said that matters, not others. Don't think that excuse will cut it with the Lord. Many of us, if not all, are given bags of gold. What did you do with your bag of gold? Did you bury it? Or did you use it wisely? Think about it. The Bible sure tells you what happened to that guy that buried his bag of gold. Didn't work out for him. It's later than you think, brothers and sisters. If you're not right with the Lord, get right now. I know I've lived this 24/7 in peace and calm since March 12th, and I am so grateful I cannot even imagine another day without it. It's not worth doing anything to jeopardize it. Why would I lie? Why would I steal? Why would I do anything to offend the God that healed me? Sadly, these days, most think that God isn't real. That explains the lukewarm and the cold, brothers and sisters. They forget the math of the 7 churches, sadly, because 5 of the 7 weren't cool with the Lord. Do your math, and that's 2/3. Hot, cold, and lukewarm. Some people don't even think God has a clock, yet they fail to realize 42 months is 1,260 days, which he also uses as well, and that equals 3.5 years, brothers and sisters. The wise with eyes to see can see the writing on the wall and hear the whispers in the wind. Dark days are coming. They're playing with their germ warfare in Africa again as an Ebola strain is killing people. God doesn't make several strains of Ebola. He doesn't need to. He's God. He can make anything new he wants. And he wouldn't waste his time fooling around with Ebola, several strains of it. That's man-made germ warfare. For those Agenda 2030 people and those other ones and other groups out there. Whatever you do, it ain't going to work. God has a plan. His plan is the right plan. He's going to win. You're going to lose if you're against God. Give up now and get right with God, and I might see you at the feast. For the rest of us who do believe in God and know He's real, please pass the ice cream. Have a great night. Bye-bye.